Okay, so we are to the last little bit of chapter 13, just a few more pages in the chapter, so here we go. So, I'm sure you know the man on the left, that would be Abraham Lincoln, and Stephen Douglas is going to be another politician from Illinois. So, Abraham Lincoln was born in Kentucky. He lived in Indiana and Illinois. He becomes a store clerk. He reads Shakespeare, he studies law, and has a very volatile relationship with his wife, Mary. Not necessarily a bad one, but very, very volatile. He joins the Whig Party. He is elected to Congress in 1846 in Illinois. He is going to oppose the spread of slavery. So that is one thing you should remember about Lincoln is he is a very strict constitutionalist. He does not necessarily believe that the federal government has a right to end or ban slavery, but he does oppose the spread of it. He's going to advocate gradual emancipation and colonization of freed blacks in Africa. He's viewed as moderate. He does lose his re-election bid, and so he will withdraw from politics and prosper as a lawyer. So he is going to come back into the political fray because of what happened in Kansas and Nebraska, or the Kansas-Nebraska Act. And you're going to get the Lincoln-Douglas debates. And this is actually still how debates are held in speech and debate tournaments and things like that. They actually have Lincoln-Douglas debates. And you can read all the transcripts from their debates. Super exciting stuff. I know you're dying to do that. So during this time, Lincoln is going to quickly emerge as the leading Republican in Illinois. So he's going to switch political parties because the Whigs are no longer. He will become a Republican. He's going to run against Stephen Douglas, for Senate in 1858. He gives his famous House Divided speech about slavery dividing the nation. And he has 7 debates with Douglas, who supports white supremacy. Lincoln advocates economic opportunity for black Americans, but not political rights. Douglas will win, which is probably good, because this is going to give Lincoln some free time to run for president in a few years. All right. 1858, the Southern Democrats are going to divide into moderates. You have them defending Southern rights and ironclad protection for slavery. And you have the fire eaters. These are repudiated the Union and actively promoted secession. So they both are for slavery, but you just have one that's more extreme. In October of 1859, John Brown, who was also in Kansas and whatnot, he's going to lead a raid on the federal arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia. He wants to arm slaves and start a rebellion. Republicans are going to condemn him. Democrats blame his actions on the Republicans. Don't they still do that today, I think? Anyway, Northern and Southern Democrats are going to split at the party's convention. So the election of 1860... Oh, I didn't change the slide. Sorry about that. The election of 1860 is going to have several candidates. You're going to have Abraham Lincoln, who is going to be the Republican candidate. He is looking towards white voters with a free soil platform that opposes both slavery and racial equality. You've got John C. Breckinridge, who is a Southern Democrat. He will advocate slavery. John Bell, Constitutional Union. And Stephen A. Douglas, Northern Democrat. Okay? So Abraham Lincoln will be the largest electoral vote winner. But you'll notice that the second person in line for popular vote is Stephen Douglas, who gets the least amount of electoral votes. So that's always interesting to check out. So you can kind of see on the map who got their votes where. And our Southern Democrat got all of the southern states for the most part. So Lincoln will win. His strategy to kind of court the free soilers and whatnot is going to be successful for him. This right here is these 4 candidates in a political cartoon. It says the national game, 3 outs and 1 run. You can see their belts are basically what they believe in, the Union Club, the Disunion Club. Lincoln right there with the ball says, gentlemen, if any of you should ever take a hand in another match at this game, remember that you must have a good bat and strike a fair ball to make a clean score and a home run. And then you have your other candidates. You've got, it appears to me very singular that we 3 should strike foul and be put out, while old Abe made such a good lick. And it says that's because he had that confounded rail to strike with. I thought fusion would be a short stop in his career. It says, I guess I'd better leave for Kentucky, for I smell something strong around here and begin to think that we are completely skunked. So your disunion, so as soon as Lincoln is elected, you will have several states that will secede from the Union within a few months of his election. Not before, but it's before he actually takes office. It's right after his election. I believe February is when they start seceding. And it is not like the nullification crisis where South Carolina could not get any support. Unfortunately, they're getting a lot of support, and you will eventually have many states that secede from the Union, which we will look at more in Chapter 14. So don't forget about the extra credit that I told you about in Part B, and I will see or speak to you soon. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening.